नमस्कार मंडळी. मी प्रसाद अथणीकर, महाराष्ट्र मंडळ शिकागो 2023 चा अध्यक्ष. तुम्हा सर्वांचे आजच्या भ्रमणगाथामध्ये सर्वांचे स्वागत. आज एक विशेष लोकेशन आहे. आपल्या आय थिंक सगळ्यांच्याच आवडतं आहे आणि सम काइंड ऑफ ड्रीम लोकेशन इट माइट बी. तर मी आपली भ्रमणगाथाची ॲडमिन वैशाली बेलसरे हिला विनंती करतो की आजचं सेशन चालू करावं.
Thank you, Prasad, and thank you, everybody. Welcome to the March session of Bhraman Gatha मंच. मंडळी, आज आपण अशा ठिकाणी जाणार आहोत जिथे ज्या देशांनी जगाला न्यूट्रॅलिटी इन वॉर म्हणजे काय हे शिकवलं आणि बँकिंग सिक्रेसी म्हणजे काय हे दाखवलं, म्हणजे अर्थातच स्वित्झर्लंड. तर ह्या देशाची सफर घडवतायत आपल्या प्रचंड भ्रमंती करणाऱ्या फिरस्तेकार अरुणाताई दाभोळकर. तर अरुणाताई, मी तुम्हाला आता लगेचच विनंती करते की तुम्ही सुरुवात करावीत आपल्या सेशनला.
Thank you, Vaishali and Prasad. Thanks everybody for attending. I'm excited to take you to Switzerland. This was my trip from last year, July. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
About now?
नाही, अजून मला दिसत नाहीये.
I'm pressing on share screen button.
शेअर स्क्रीन केल्यानंतर तुम्हाला इट्स कमिंग अप. यप, नाउ वी कॅन सी.
Okay. Now I have to go to the slideshow.
यप, दिसतंय आता.
दिसतंय ना?
खाली राईट साइडला स्लाइड शोचं एक आयकॉन आहे तिथे. यप, गॉट इट.
So स्वित्झर्लंड म्हटलं की बहुतेक सगळे जण जाऊन आलेले असतात स्वित्झर्लंडला. मी पण जाऊन आले होते 2दा. तिथे पण लेक लुसॉन वगैरे ठराविक ठिकाणी बहुतेक आपण जातो. बहुतेक लोक युरोपियन टूर करताना एक दिवस स्वित्झर्लंडमध्ये कुठेतरी स्टॉप असतो. लेक लुसॉन इज अ व्हेरी पॉप्युलर प्लेस फॉर विजिट वेन यू आर डुईंग अ युरोपियन टूर. पण आणि मी नंतर एकदा बाझलला कामासाठी पण गेले होते. तेव्हा सुद्धा थोडा 4-5 दिवस तिथे होते, तर बराचसा अनुभव आला होता. पण आता सध्या काही जाण्याची हे नव्हती तसं जायचं. पण काय झालं गेल्या वर्षी की माझा भाऊ आणि वहिनी त्यांनी इंडियातनं ही टूर बुक केली, कॉम्प्रिहेन्सिव्ह स्वित्झर्लंडची, थ्रू वीना वर्ल्ड म्हणून तिकडची कंपनी आहे मुंबईची. तर मग मी म्हटलं की मी पण येते तुमच्याबरोबर, बघूया सगळं स्वित्झर्लंड म्हणून. So that's why how I joined them. आणि so it was an Indian tour and I went from here. तर स्वित्झर्लंड म्हटलं की we know their flag with the white cross, unlike the red cross. It's a white cross on the red background. And the country of majestic peaks, greenery everywhere, cows and lot of milk, so delicious chocolates. Everywhere there are skiing areas, and of course we know about their banking prowess, as well as the very popular and expensive watches. And of course it's also known for its political. So in this tour, this map shows you the Switzerland with the borders to Germany. France is on another border. Part of it is part of the border on the south is Italy, and Austria to the east. So it is a landlocked country, and we visited all these places within like 10 days and 9 nights. That's how long the tour was. We started from Zurich and went to Bonn, Geneva, Zermatt, climbed on the, not climbed, but went on the Matterhorn, Jungfrau glacier, and Lake Lucerne, Mount Titlis again, and Rhine Falls. So it was very comprehensive tour of Switzerland. Little bit about the geography and history of Switzerland. Switzerland, as I said, it's a landlocked country in the Central European Alps with borders along France, Germany, Italy, Austria, and a little bit of Liechtenstein also. However, it is not a EU country. US citizens with US passport do not need visa though. And one thing to remember, the currency is not euro, it is Swiss franc. So just a reminder, if you go there, it has been politically neutral for almost 500 years, and it was not invaded by Hitler during the World War II. Now, yeah, it's been it's a mystery, or it's a question as to why this small country didn't get invaded by Hitler, who was right next to it. I mean, it's on the border of Germany, so it was easy to go in and take over, just like he did with Austria, France, etc. So, however, Switzerland has a very strong natural defense in the sense that it is a very mountainous area, and as we know, it's very difficult to fight a war in such areas. We have a perfect example of how Shivaji managed to fight with the Mughal Empire in Maharashtra. Also, they have a policy that every man is armed and they are trained to use the arms. And every house has a bunker. They have to have a bunker in the house. And on my trip to Basel for work, one of the persons we were working with took us to his home to show us the bunker. And it was just like a bank vault that we see here or anywhere. So very fortified, big doors, and all self-contained, water, food, etc. is in there. So if required, people can stay in there for a long time. Also, there are mountains and tunnels, bridges, everything is fortified. The country is mountainous, but it was very surprising how much work they have done in terms of tunneling through those mountains for roads as well as trains, etc. It must be a lot of work to do all that, but it's very well connected country. But these mountains inside, they're fortified with ammunition, and in case of an invasion, they can always, explode a bridge and stop the enemy right there. So that way, they're very well prepared. I was also told that, if you don't live in a house, live in an apartment building, some of the apartment buildings also have bunkers, underground bunkers. And if not, the people living in those buildings have to either buy or rent a bunker nearby. And government provides for that, but it's mandatory for them to have that safety for themselves. At the time of the World War II, they also had an arms trade with Germany, and they were helping Germany financially too. So Germany could not afford to stop all that and invade a country. And so that's how I think there are several reasons for that non-invasion of Switzerland during World War II. Surprise on this for me on this trip was the popularity of Bollywood and the Indian food. It was everywhere. I mean, even small towns have Indian restaurants, and I will go over that a little later. So from Zurich, Bern is about 2 hours bus ride. Bern is the capital city. It's also called Federal City. It is situated on Aare River. It is one of the most beautiful cities I have ever seen. I've seen many of them, but this is so quaint and so nice. It has a medieval feeling, and it is medieval, all preserved houses, etc. As you see in this picture, the church in the background, all the chimneys going up in the sky. And this Arya River is just beautiful. It's situated right at the bend of the river. So very picturesque and very rightfully it's a UNESCO heritage site now. We crossed the river and there is a main street that it's a all cobblestone street that we walked on. On one side, there was Einstein's house, that's where he published some of his early work and he used to live there for many years. Now it is converted into a cafe. So at the end of that main street, there's a clock tower, and every hour on the hour, the bells ring in this top tower here. There's a man figurine that comes out and it's hitting the bell. You see that at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, etc. And there's also a carousel that starts every hour and goes round and round 11 times, 10 times, etc. So very nice. Many people gather around at the end of the hour so they can see this clock tower in action. There are on this side of the river, there were a bear pit and there are bears, actual bears there. We could see them swimming in the water. And there's this figurine that we saw. It was like so surprising, right in the middle of the road on top of this little pole, there is a statue of a bear. So bear is the city symbol for Bonn. So really very picturesque city. After we had lunch in Bonn and then went to a Nestle chocolate factory for dessert, I suppose. They showed us the manufacturing process in the factory. There are chocolate fountains and chocolate figurines everywhere like that. And very, very delicious. And the whole, factory, we could get, we could take as many chocolates as we could, as we wanted, basically free for all the visitors there. From the chocolate factory, we went to a cheese factory in Prague and saw that a little bit. Next day, we went to Geneva city, and that was quite a long ride to Geneva, it is other end from Zurich. So Geneva is the European headquarters for UN, as everybody knows. You see this building with all the flag, all the national flags around here. They offer guided tours, are available in 14 different languages of the UN. And Geneva also has headquarters of WHO as well as Red Cross. There are a few other interesting buildings around the UN headquarters there. There's a monumental sculpture, a wooden chair with a broken leg. So this is like very tall, 12 meters high, red chair with a broken leg, and it symbolizes opposition to landmines and cluster bombs. Very nice to see this, and there are nice fountains around here. This is the palace of countries where all the countries meet in the UN there. So that was part of Geneva. This is the next day we went to Lake Geneva. It was very hot. That's all I remember about it.
Water fountain hai te Jake hai.
I mean, reminded me of Lake Michigan. And there's a huge fountain, 140-meter high fountain in the middle of the lake. And it is the largest lake in Switzerland. Along the lake, there is a walking path on one side with a working flower clock. They change flowers every season. So, and it's working all the time. Nice fountains, and there were gift shops, etc., on this side of the road. Next visit was to Vevey, where there is Charley Chaplin's house. And Charley Chaplin he's a British actor, as everybody knows. He's a silent comedy. He did lots of silent comedic movies, very famous everywhere and very popular everywhere. He had seen those even in India. He lived in US and made all these movies in Hollywood. But in 1952, he had gone to England for a premiere of one of his movies. And while coming back, he got a message saying that he will not be allowed to return to US without an interrogation. And his passport was taken away. This was, Cold War era, and there was US was very concerned about communist sympathizers, and he was suspected to be one. We don't know for sure, but he decided to stay in Switzerland for the rest of his life. He built a house there. Behind the house is Lake Geneva, very picturesque house. And very big too. Right in the foyer, there is a statue. And the whole house now is converted into a museum called Chaplin's World. And all the rooms are converted into scenes from his movies. There are movies being shown on the screens in most of the rooms. And very nice to see all that. He had 8 kids and lived there for many, many years with them. And after his death, they converted it into a museum. I did not even know that Charley Chaplin lived in Switzerland for so many years and had a house there. So that was something new to me. Next was a winery visit. This was in the Vaux region. And I have seen wineries in California, Italy, Spain. But this was the most beautiful one that I have ever seen, very scenic, because on one side there's Lake Geneva here, and you have to take this trolley to go up the mountain, and it's a terraced vineyards on the other side of the lake. Look at this picture. It's just really beautiful. These are the terraces. Winemaking is a year-long process there, and we had a wine tasting. Next, in that big Lake Geneva, there is an island castle, medieval castle that is preserved. And it's, you can see the castle entrance is a bridge that goes over the water, and you enter the castle there. And we had a tour of the castle. They showed us the medieval style of living, the bedroom. I just have a couple pictures here to show you guys. Kitchen with all the pots, etc. From that.
That looks so pretty.
Next day was a trip to Gstaad village. We took a Golden Pass train from Montas to Gstaad. Again, Swiss scenery everywhere is legendary, and all the pictures that we see are true. Basically, it's a small, quaint village with a village fountain there. You see me with the umbrella. It was very hot and sunny day, and everybody needed some relief from the sun. And the glacial water in this stream looks really beautiful. Houses with the alpine architecture. Houses, and these are mostly restaurants and malls. So there are probably shops up there. But everybody has to have these balconies, decorated with with real flowers. So, and one of my neighbor in Florida is from Switzerland, and she tells me I have to go back to Switzerland in March and start my flowers, otherwise I'll get fined. So it's a mandatory thing to do in Switzerland, to put the flowers out on the balconies, and you'll see them everywhere in the houses and all the restaurants as well. Just a little bit of the quirky things that I noticed there. On the road, this is on Gstaad, right on the road, there is a bookshop here. As you can see, an outside wall, there was a hook. A lady came and she just parked her dog here and left and went about her business. The dog kept barking for a while. Lady from the shop came out, gave him some water. So he was okay. The other thing that I noticed in many places in Switzerland are this sort of fountains. This water from the fountain is for people to drink, but they don't want to waste any water either. So they collect it in this hauda sarka kelay, and त्याच्यात पाणी ते मग birds, animals, whoever comes, they can drink it. So don't want to waste it. Next day was a trip to Zermatt, and then from there to Matterhorn. Zermatt is the mountaineering and ski resort, and this iconic peak is very well recognized all over the Europe and world probably. And we had a walk. We took a walking tour of the Zermatt town and panoramic views of Matterhorn. I mean, this peak we could see from everywhere in the village. Right across the station was a restaurant called India Palace. That's where we had lunch. So to go up the Matterhorn, we had to take this gondola or cable ride to the top called Matterhorn Express. On the way there are all the glacier views. This is in July, so the snow was still there. On the top, there is a ice palace, and the entrance to the ice palace is through this tunnel. Everything is cold, like kept at 30 degrees by nature or by cooling. And there are all these ice sculptures. These are permanent sculptures. I mean, they were there in July, so they're there all the time of the year. Very beautifully carved out sculptures and in the Matterhorn Ice Palace. Down at in Zermatt walking tour, we saw this Zermatt fountain, really nice. Visited the St. Peter's Church in the town, and there is a museum called Matterhorn Museum. So visited that. These pipes are the Swiss pipes that their musical instrument. And this was Miss Lucy Walker statue. She was the woman climbed the Matterhorn. And again, this is near the station. We saw this horse cart was just waiting there for people. Look at the horse. It's like, the आणि त्याचे मानेच्या केसांवरती शेपरेट्स घातल्या होत्या. मला इतकी फनी वाटलं. All this curly hair on the tail and all that. And again, another Swiss beauty here. House and the restaurant down there. The flowers everywhere.
झरमट लोकेशन खूपच अप्रतिम आहे म्हणजे अरुणताई.
खरंच आहे खरं अप्रतिम आहे.
आणि ती जर्नी जी मॅथरहॉनला जी ट्रेन जाते आणि तो जो व्ह्यू आहे ते ऍक्च्युली मी ते मॅथरहॉन वरनं खालीपर्यंत मी चालत आलो होतो आणि ते पूर्ण बर्फ होतं त्यावेळी. इतकं छान होतं वाटत होत ते.
आणि त्यांनी आम्हाला अशा बऱ्याच ठिकाणी नेलं वरती, कारण सगळे लोक इंडियन होते ना टूर मधले. कमिंग फ्रॉम मुंबई दे वॉन्टेड टू सी इट. मला त्याच्यात काही जास्त I
मला
said,
वाटतं ते
I've seen
ते
so much snow in my lifetime in Chicago.
नाही
खरंय.
DDLJचं
पण लोकांना खूप आवडलं
शूटिंग
ते.
तिथं वर झालं होतं.
हो.
DDLJचं शूटिंग वर झालं होतं, त्यामुळं म्हणजे इंडियन लोकांना तिथं खूप क्रेज आहे, त्यांना जाऊन बघायचं
Right, right.
तिथं ते काजोल आणि शाहरुख खानचं असं एक मोठं कटआउट वगैरे पण लावलेलं आहे.
Right, ते माउंट टेटलिस वर आहे माझ्याकडे फोटो त्याचा. So to go to this Jungfrau glacier, we boarded Eiger Express from Greenwald, where we got there by bus, and then there was a 15-minute ride to Eiger Glacier Station. From the glacier station, we had to then take a Cogwheel Train, and all along we could see the peaks, various peaks, and we disembarked at the Europe's highest railway station at 11,333 feet. And again, on top, there are snow-capped mountains, ice sculptures, ice palace, and sphinx. So this is the railway tracks for that Cogwheel train that I talked about. This is in between the two rails is the thing for Cogwheel. This is the Cogwheel here. That's my brother. So on top, there's a Sphinx terrace. This is our photo. And near there, it was very cold, of course. And down there, we could see people skating and skiing in this area. And, coming and going up and coming down, the scenery is absolutely beautiful. There are trains coming and going on these mountains. I mean, the work they have done on these are unbelievable. And again, they're nice ice sculpture. This is our tour group enjoying the snow. And I was sitting inside and taking their photographs. My guide kept telling me, why don't you want to go? I said, no, I have had enough snow in my lifetime in Chicago. So anyway, next stop was Interlaken. This is the Interlaken village, and there are two lakes, two beautiful lakes, one on this side, one on the other side. And up this mountain is this Harder Calm. That's a restaurant on the mountain. We took a tram ride up there, but even after that, we had to climb up a little bit, and we had a fondue lunch there. But that was the only Swiss lunch on this whole trip. But even that was with Thai chicken curry and rice. So it wasn't exactly Swiss. So this is part of the Interlaken. You see the canal. And this is the boardwalk at Harderkaum near the restaurant where, and again, the cow. They reminded me of cows on parade in Chicago a few years back. And every hotel and restaurant had these. But down there, the views were beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Yes. Next was Ingelborg. That's where we stayed. And this is the winter and summer capital of Europe for destination to central Switzerland places. We stayed at a hotel called Sherlock Holmes Hotel. The hotel was Indian. So we had upma for breakfast and idli for breakfast, sanza for dinner, and so on. So it was good Indian food there. Others were kind of so, but that hotel was good food. So from Ingelberg, we went to Lake Lucerne, and everybody has probably been there. This is the iconic chapel bridge on the Lake Lucerne. And these two church steeps are also really beautiful. We took a lake cruise in the lake, about 90-minute boat ride all along the lake. They had some free time for once for shopping. So this is, photos from the cruise. There are private homes on the other side of the lake. There is a artificial beach where people come in the summertime. These are the things I had not seen. I had seen this whole thing I had seen before a couple of times, but not taken the cruise or anything like that. And this was also a new thing for me. This is a lion monument. It's very close to Lake Lucerne, but I had not even heard about it before. And it's
The saddest monument in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
that is
Yeah,
the saddest
Mark Twain
monument.
called it the most mournful and moving piece of stone.
Yeah.
You know, so the story of this is like it's a monument in tribute. It is to commemorate Swiss guards who were killed in French Revolution in 1792. There were about 760 Swiss guards who were outsourced to France to protect the king at that time. And they were on duty when the revolutionaries stormed the palace and killed everybody. Not all of them were killed, but some of them were imprisoned and so on. But one of the soldiers was off duty and visiting his home in Switzerland, and he survived because of that. So afterwards, he really felt guilty. He wrote a book about it. There was a good response to the book. So he lobbied to make this monument and started collecting funds. And the monument was finally completed in 1820. And there's an invisible joke about this monument. That the artist was not paid as there were not enough money was not raised. He knew about it, but he completed the monument anyway out of respect for the guards. But he carved a pig-shaped niche over the lion. You can see that, to express his contempt of the authorities and the people who decided to do this. But I had not seen this one before, and it's really moving. There's a small pond here, nice gardens around the pond, and really nice. The lion itself is dying. There's a spear going through his chest. He is lying on a shield with French lilies on them, and there is a coat of arms of Switzerland at his head. So one place not to miss if you are in Lake Lucerne. So next day from Engelberg, we went to Mount Titlis. There were 2 gondolas that we had to take. First one was a regular gondola, and second one was this rotating gondola. And if you stand at one place in this, and it's only for standing, there's no sitting in this gondola. If you stand at one place, you turn around 360 degrees and get the view of the whole thing as you reach the peak. So it makes one complete round as it reaches the top of the mountain. And surprise, surprise, on top of the mountain, there are these cutouts of Kajol and Shah Rukh. And people were happy to see that, and they were taking pictures with them. And I guess that movie was filmed over there. So it seems what happened was, until 1990s, they were shooting all these Bollywood movies in Kashmir. And then all the terrorism started in Kashmir. So they decided they're going to Switzerland. And in the 90s, they started making movies in Switzerland. Of course, they were welcomed there with open arms, as they were paying lots of money to clear up the roads and mountains to film the Hindi movies there.
Yash Chopra single-handedly revived Switzerland economy. That's what they say.
Right.
Yeah.
That really helped them.
Switzerland.
आणि सरप्राइझिंगली आपले डोकं तिकडे जाऊन म्हणजे सिनरी आणि इकडचे फोटो सोडून ह्याच्या बरोबर ते
exactly.
फोटो काढत बसतात.
आणि तिकडं खालीच ते बॉलिवूड रेस्टॉरंट पण आहे ना, तिकडं जायलाच पाहिजे तिथं.
Right. या आणि वरती पण एक रेस्टॉरंट आहे, जस्ट रेस्टॉरंट लाईक अ कॅफे. So having
सगळ्या बॉलिवूडच्या
was
स्टार्सचे
called-
फोटोज आहेत आणि मूवीचे फोटोज सगळे
right.
बॉलिवूड कॅफे या
त्या गॉन्डोला चेंज करतो तिथे ते बॉलिवूड रेस्टॉरंट म्हणून आहे.
हो
had a buffet lunch there. So on top, you see all these granite peaks, and you look down, there's a Lake Titlis, really beautiful scenery again.
काय सुंदर आहे.
Stop was at Rhine Falls. This is right at the border of Germany.
Germany. Yeah.
On the Rhine River. Very nice, of course. It's nothing compared to our Niagara, but there is similar cruise of the lake there, river there, and you can really reach near the falls. And another surprise at the Rhine Falls was Vada Pav cart.
Yes.
There's a spice river or some kind of Indian restaurant, and they had a cart like this, a Mumbai style cart right there, and we had our vada pav snack, afternoon snack there.
And you have to have it even if you're not hungry.
Have to have, yes.
इतक्या थंडीचा वडापाव आणि चहा.
हो ना. खरंच आहे ते.
Yeah.
That is true.
So that was the last stop before going to the airport, and airport was about an hour away from here. So then they dropped me off there. I had to stay in Zurich for another night because I didn't have a flight to come back here. Their flight was at 10 o'clock at night. So they all reached, we all reached the airport around 5:30, 6 o'clock, and they were on their way to Mumbai. I stayed one more night in Zurich, and then next day morning came back. But I have been on many tours. This was my second Indian tour. First one was like 55 years ago with Raja Travel, who is this Veena is Raja Patil's
काका उल्हासचे काका आहेत.
Keshri Patil's daughter. Kaka Raja Patil is
Yeah.
आणि केशरी पाटील त्यांची मुलगी, आणि तिने 10-15 वर्षापूर्वी स्वतःची कंपनी चालू केली.
Right.
केशरी टूर्स इज ऑल्सो गोइंग ऑन. पण त्याचे आणि गेले बरेच वर्ष अमेरिकेत राहिल्यानंतर इकडच्याच बऱ्याचशा टूर्स मी केल्या आहेत, आणि देर वर 3-4 ब्रिटिश टूर्स, ट्रॅफलगार एक्सेट्रा. So comparing the two was, what I found the pros, that there are all Indians in this tour. They're culturally more relatable. आम्ही अंताक्षरी खेळलो बसमध्ये, आणि mostly nice folks, as we know. But on the other hand, some of the Indians, as we all know, can be very stubborn and demanding, and we had a couple of people like that. They did not affect me, but they did affect some other folks as well as the tour guide, because he had to put up with them. And some of the people can be very direct and ask personal questions. एका buffet line मध्ये माझ्या पुढे मुलगी, तुमच्या टूर मधली मुलगी उभी होती, सर मागे वळते आणि मला म्हणते, "How old are you?" मी म्हटलं, "Yes." तिने मला 10 वर्षांनी लहान केल्यावर मी म्हटलं, "बरोबर."
गुड वन.
So असं काही काही होतं. Just warning about that. And the other thing, it was very diverse group. Even though म्हणजे महाराष्ट्रातलेच लोक होते, पण age wise there was a lot of diversity. There were young couples, 4-5 young couples, and 4-5 couples in 50s, 60s, etc. So there was a lot of diversity in the whole group. बरेचसे पुण्याचे लोक होते, तारा, मुंबई इथले पण, ठाणा इथले पण लोक होते त्याच्यात. The other, either this is a pro or a con, the Indian food for all meals. आणि तरी असं सगळ्यांनी सांगितलं की तुम्ही इंडियन टूर बरोबर गेला की इंडियनच खायला देतात तिकडे. तर म्हटलं स्वित्झर्लंड मध्ये चालेल मला, पण मी इटली किंवा थायलंड मध्ये नाही जाणार त्यांच्या असं असेल तर. सो इट्स अप टू यू, इट्स अप टू द प्लेस यू आर गोइंग विथ दॅम. सो जस्ट कीप दॅट इन माइंड. कारण तिकडनं आलेल्या लोकांना इकडचं फूड चालत नाही, मग त्यांना इंडियन रेस्टॉरंट,
इंडियातल्या टूर साठी इंडियन फूड इज गुड.
राईट, इंडियन
पण
फूड
ज्या
इज द
लोकांना इतर खायचं असतं किंवा बघायचं असतं त्यांना ते फारच त्रासाचं होतं.
राईट, एक्झॅक्टली. आणि त्यांचे इंटरेस्ट वेगळे असतात, त्याप्रमाणे अरेंज केलेले असते. फॉर एक्झाम्पल ऑल द इंडियन रेस्टॉरंट्स आणि प्लीज वगैरे. अमेरिकन टूर्स तिकडे जातही नसतील बहुतेक. Popularity of Bollywood, I probably would not have noticed that if I wasn't on this particular tour. The other good thing about this tour was everything was included in the price that we paid them. Every meal, every transportation, all the gondolas, trams, trains, those are expensive in Switzerland. So everything was included in the price. On the other hand, you have very little freedom to do anything on your own or go anywhere on your own. The only free time we got was in Lake Lucerne to do some shop. आणि बाकीचे त्यांचे तसे ऑप्शनल एक्सकर्शन्स वगैरे इकडच्या टूर्स मध्ये तसे काही नव्हते. आणि अगेन नो फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी अबाउट फूड or anything. For example, माझी जाताना इकडनं फ्लाईट, मला 1 वाजता फ्लाईट होती टॅम्पाहून, आणि 11 वाजता निघणार होते, 10-11 वाजता निघणार होते घरात. तर सकाळी 4 वाजता मला मेसेज आला युनायटेडचा, फ्लाईट इज कॅन्सल. These are your three options. बघितले तर ते नेक्स्ट डेचे होते. म्हणजे मग मी 1 दिवस लेट पोचले असते. म्हणजे पण ते दुसऱ्या दिवशी, म्हणजे ज्या दिवशी झुरिकहून बर्नला जायला निघणार होते त्या दिवशी सकाळी मी पोचणार होते तिथे. म्हणजे फॉर्च्युनेटली मी ट्रॅव्हल एजंटच्या थ्रू बुकिंग केलं होतं. तर मी त्याला सांगितलं की हे बघ, I have to get there, otherwise I'm going to miss my tour and I'll have to cancel everything. He was in California, it was probably midnight there, so he was working on it. पण मी इकडे मग या टूरच्या गाईडला कॉन्टॅक्ट केलं आणि त्याला म्हटलं असं असं होतंय, सो कॅन यू पिक मी अप ॲट द एअरपोर्ट ऑन नेक्स्ट डे? इफ आय कम नेक्स्ट डे ॲट 8 o'clock देअर, कॅन यू पिक मी अप बिफोर गोइंग टू बर्न? तर पहिलंच उत्तर, नो. नो, we cannot. By the time you come out, it will be 9 o'clock. We would have already left. आणि आम्ही बर्नला जायचंय आम्हाला आणि हे ते. You come to Bern, take a train from the airport and come to Bern on your own. This is the restaurant we are going to be, so you can reach there by lunchtime. म्हणून त्यांनी मला तिकडचं सगळं सांगितलं, ट्रेन हे करतोय तो. असं म्हणजे फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी अजिबात नसते. Big station was not far from the hotel and they could have easily picked me up there. But then it's a nice sign. Fortunately, my agent found another flight in the evening and it turned out to be better for me because I reached there by 3:30 in the afternoon and I could go get in my room and sleep for a while. They arrived at 9 o'clock in the evening. So I was there on time. परत येताना पण तसंच काहीतरी झालं आणि they would not drop me off at the departure place arrival because I wanted to go to the hotel. You have to take a taxi from arrival side and the departure side. Departure side ला काही टॅक्सी वगैरे मिळतच नाही. तर the bus was going to the departure side for everybody else to get off and go in the airport. मी म्हटलं arrival side ला ड्रॉप ऑफ करा जरा. No, they would not do it. And the thing was, our guide spoke only English आणि हिंदी आणि मराठी. त्याच्यातच सगळं चाललं होतं. आणि the driver, the bus was German and he spoke only German. त्याला इंग्लिश येत नव्हतं. There was hardly any communication between them. आणि दुसरं म्हणजे इंडियन गाईड only had very minimal information. He was not like स्वित्झर्लंडचाच गाईड आहे तो, म्हणजे स्वित्झर्लंड मधल्या स्टोर करतो वगैरे असं काय नाही. तो जिथे सांगतील तिथे जात होतो. सो ही हॅड व्हेरी लिटल नॉलेज ऑफ स्वित्झर्लंड. त्यामुळे माहिती खूप मिळाली नाही मला असं वाटलं. मनाने इकडच्या टूर्स मध्ये whenever I go, there are local guides. Plus, there are local guides for specific places. Like you go to Florence, there is a separate guide there. No, tour guide that we have. ते मला खूप खटकलं. आणि so there was no exposure to local culture on this tour really. But I think that's what the Indians want. They are okay with that. So that's what these companies do, I suppose. So I think that's about it. दुसरं म्हणजे बसमध्ये फिक्स सीट्स. इकडच्या टूर्स मध्ये युजली दे टेल यू टू रोटेट
या
होतं. आणि फॉर्च्युनेटली आय हॅड अ व्हेरी गुड सीट मॅट. शी सॅट ॲट द विंडो ऑल द टाइम अँड दॅट वॉज फाईन विथ मी. आय डिडंट केअर. She was nice person and that was good. And I had asked for single supplement, so I had my own room. So that turned out to be the good decision. Questions?
कुठल्या महिन्यात गेला होता?
जुलै.
अच्छा.
जुलैच्या थर्ड वीक मध्ये.
ओके. हो, खूप गरम असतं. बरोबर आहे.
गरम असतं. हो. आणि
स्विस लोकांची गर्दी नव्हती.
पण गेल्या वर्षी खूप गरम होतं सगळीकडे.
युफ्रायूला नाही गेलात का तुम्ही? युफ्रायू नव्हतं ना
याच्यात नव्हतं. गेल्या वर्षी फ्रान्स मध्ये वगैरे सुद्धा खूप गरम झालं होतं.
गेल्या वर्षी
कंपॅरेटिव्हली स्वित्झर्लंड वॉज ओके. ऍटलीस्ट इनसाइड द हॉटेल इट वॉज ओके. पण नसतं एकतर हॉटेलमध्ये तिथे. युरोपमध्येच इन. सो आणि लास्ट फ्यू समर्स हॅव बीन क्वाईट हॉट ओव्हर देअर.
अरुणाताई, एक प्रश्न
गेलो की बाहेर फिरायलाच लागतं ना. सनी असतं आणि सो यू कांट अवॉइड इट.
राईट. मग ते गस्टॅड खरंच वर्थ आहे का व्हिजिटिंग? कारण इट इज ऑन माय लिस्ट. पण आता तुमच्याकडनं ऐकूया.
Gstaad, it's, if you are going to some other place, you may not want to go there.
Okay.
And small village असं बघायचं असलं तर it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
आणि ते गस्टार्ड म्हणतात का स्टार्ड म्हणतात?
मी
करीना कपूरनी सारखं ते स्टार्ड म्हटलेलं आहे.
काय माहित नाही.
तसं जी सायलेंट पण असेल.
जी सायलेंट. नाही, पण मला एक प्रश्न विचारायचा होता तुम्हाला, की तुम्ही ती चीजची फॅक्टरी पाहिलीत ना, तर ती कुठचं चीज केलं होतं त्यांनी? स्विस चीज का नोफेटाल चीज का ग्रोयर?
नाही, इट वॉज स्विस चीज. इट वॉज अ स्मॉल फॅक्टरी फॉर स्विस चीज, पण इट वॉज अ स्विस चीज. आणि couple of things I did not even put in this presentation. There was a Ballenberg on the way from Galberg, I think. And it was like a medieval village, not exactly medieval, but probably 300 years old village. Everything is preserved in there, and so it's become like a सगळी एरिया त्यांनी बंद करून त्यावेळी कसे लोक राहत होते याचा म्हणजे असं एक विलेज दाखवलं त्यांनी. अदर थिंग he took us to was a Freddie Mercury statue. It was on yeah. I did not even know who Freddie Mercury was. But all the Indians were interested in seeing the statue, so they went.
नाही, तो पारशी होता ना.
पारशी होता.
आणि तो पारसी होता आणि ही वॉज अ व्हेरी फेमस सिंगर.
फेमस म्युझिशियन. आणि त्याच्या बरोबर फोटो वगैरे काढून घेतले.
आय एम सरप्राइज लोकांना माहिती होतं फ्रेडी मर्क्युरी कोण.
Right, but out of these peaks, I would go to one like Matterhorn or Titlis. I wouldn't go to all three places because it's similar. So otherwise, like Lucerne is worth seeing. The winery, really don't miss it because it's unique in the sense the setting is so unique for that winery. कारण एका बाजूला असं पाणी संबंध छान लेकचं आणि दुसऱ्या बाजूला आल्प्स. व्हेरी नाईस.
आणि झरमॅट आवडलं तुम्हाला?
झरमॅट ऑल्सो इज नाईस. ऍक्च्युली गस्टॅडच्या ऐवजी झरमॅट आणि मॅटरहॉर्नला जायचं.
मला ती झरमॅट टू सेंट मॉरिट्स ती ग्लेशियर एक्सप्रेस आहे ना, ती घ्यायचा विचार आहे.
अप्रतिम आहे ती.
हो ना,
अप्रतिम आहे.
ओके.
ग्लेशियर एक्सप्रेस आणि ती गोल्डन पास जी आहे ना, जी अरुणाताईंनी आता त्यांच्या याच्यामध्ये कव्हर केली, ती पण अप्रतिम आहे. त्याच्यावेळी
गोल्डन पास ट्रेन.
गोल्डन पास. फक्त त्यावेळी आता अरुणाताई तुम्ही गेला त्यावेळी बर्फ पडत होता का, म्हणजे काय होतं का?
नाही, पडत नव्हता कारण फक्त खाली होता बर्फ वरती.
पण ज्यावेळी बर्फ पडतो त्यावेळी तुम्ही जर ती गोल्डन पास घेतली ना, इतकं अप्रतिम आहे ना, अशी झाडं आणि तो बर्फ पडत असतो, खूपच मस्त आहे ते.
छान वाटलं पण ऐकून, अगदी तिथे गेल्यासारखं वाटलं.
एक मिनिट.
बाकी मेंबर्स. हॅलो.
I think everybody is dreaming of Bollywood in Switzerland.
नाही, खूप खूप छान झालं. मी अर्धवट जॉईन केलं तरी खूप मस्त होतं. मी अजून गेलेले नाहीये स्वित्झर्लंडला, पण उद्या जायची वेळ आली तर मस्त हा व्हिडिओ बघून मी जाईन.
खूपच छान झालं अरुणाताई.
थँक्यू.
मी खूप वर्षापूर्वी गेलीये, मला यातलं काहीही आठवत नाही असं म्हणायला हरकत नाही.
So Sucheta, you are saying की विकासला परत एकदा सांगायला लागेल का जायला?
येस इतकं सुंदर फारच छान सांगितलं अगदी.
आणि बरेच इकडचे लोक जाऊन तिथे एकटे फिरत असतात खूप. यू कॅन ड्राईव्ह देअर. इट्स नॉट व्हेरी डिफिकल्ट टू गेट अराउंड. आणि बरेचसे लोक इंग्लिश बोलतात. ते मी भाषेचं विसरले सांगायला.
चांगलं बोलतात तिकडे.
बॉर्डरकडे जर्मन भाषा बोलतात, फ्रेंच पण बोलली जाते. नंतर त्यांची रोमनाश आहे आणि इटालियन साईडला इटालियन लँग्वेज. They speak 4 languages. There's no national language as such. पण इंग्लिश मध्ये म्हणजे चालतं, बरंच व्यवहार सगळे होऊ शकतात.
स्वित्झर्लंडचा अजून एक चांगला एक्सपोर्ट म्हणजे त्यांचे स्विस गार्ड्स. They are actually mercenaries. They literally are. आणि they are so mercenaries and so dedicated की they actually are the ones that guard Roman Pope.
Right.
So if you go to like Rome आणि if you see त्या बाहेर त्याच्या बाहेर you can see the Swiss guards. They are the ones guarding the whole palace and everything. म्हणजे सेंट पीटर्स चर्च आणि सगळं ते सेंट पीटर्स बसिलिका आणि हे सगळं you can actually see them.
एक मला प्रश्न असा होता की सॉरी मी मिस केलं, कुठल्या टूर्स ह्यानी गेला होता तुम्ही? टुरिस्ट
ही इंडियन टूर होती, वीणा वर्ल्ड म्हणून.
वीणा वर्ल्ड. आय नो हो. लॉट ऑफ पीपल go through Veena World or Kesari, right? Like
Kesari, right.
Yeah.
Veena is Kesari's daughter.
Okay.
मुलगी आहे. तर तिने स्वतःची कंपनी चालू केली आता. पण बरेच लोक जातात.
हो, असं मला म्हणजे इंडियातल्या पण बऱ्याच ट्रिप्स हल्ली लोक वीणा वर्ल्ड थ्रू करतात.
राईट. नाही, तिनेच ते केसरीमध्ये जेव्हा विमेन स्पेशल, सिनियर सिटीजन स्पेशल हे सगळं वीणानीच सुरू केलं होतं, वीणा पाटीलनी. आणि मग नंतर त्यांचा राजा पाटीलशी काहीतरी मतभेद झाले. आणि म्हणून मग त्यांनी स्वतःच सुरू केलं. पण आईन्स्टाईनचं घर होतं हे सुद्धा माहिती नव्हतं. सो दॅट वॉज व्हेरी नाईस टू सी.
या तिथे अगदी त्या बर्न इज वन सिटी टू मिस. रिअली ब्युटिफुल सिटी. ते लागतं जाच तिकडे.
अजून आहेत कोणाचे प्रश्न? नाहीतर मग आपण क्लोज करू आणि मग काही प्रश्न असतील तर अरुणाताई आपल्या ग्रुपवर देतील उत्तर.
डेफिनेटली.
अजून ओके, थँक्यू अरुणाताई.
Okay.
खूपच छान होतं प्रेझेंटेशन.
थँक्यू.
स्वित्झर्लंड
Everybody.
सगळ्यांसाठी ड्रीम डेस्टिनेशन आहेच आणि
Yeah.
इट इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द मोस्ट लव्ड कंट्रीज बिकॉज ऑफ इट्स फोटो कार्ड परफेक्ट सिनरीज ऑल ओव्हर द
Right.
वर्ल्ड.
Yeah.
आणि तुम्ही खूप छान बाकीचे सुद्धा सांगितलं, नाही तर युजली ज्युरिक, लुसेन, इंटरलेकन, इंगलबर्ग एवढेच लोक जातात, बाकी जास्ती जात नाहीत. त्यामुळे हे खूप छान बाकीच्या पण गोष्टी ऍड केलेल्या होत्या आणि ज्यांना आधी गेलेले नाहीत त्यांना जाण्यासाठी पण हे खूप उपयोगी आहे आणि आमच्यासारखे जे आधी जाऊन आलेत पण परत जायचंय, नाव इट्स टाइम टू गो अगेन. आम्ही ऑलरेडी विसरायला लागलो आधीचे गोष्टीसाठी पण
चल कविता बॅग भर जाऊया आपण.
हो सर. पण आता त्याच्यावरनं मी एक निर्णय घेतलाय की युरोपमध्ये जायचं तर सप्टेंबर मध्ये जायचं. जुलै, इतके वर्ष आम्ही जुलै ऑगस्ट मध्ये गेलो पण खूप उन्हामुळे त्रास होतो. सप्टेंबर इज अ बेटर पिरियड.
March to May is also good.
तेच मे.
March to May is also, yeah. Spring and fall is really nice there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, thank you Prasad and Ratna for all the support. Thank you Bhraman Gatha members for attending today's session. And lastly, thanks Deepa for the wonderful flyer. आपलं next session April 25th ला असणार आहे आणि stay tuned for the one more exciting destination. See you soon. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kavita.